Good morning and welcome to the third part of this series, Demystifying the Science of Reading. And today we're going to focus on phonics. Here is a short URL where you can snag the slides and a QR code that should allow you to snag the slides as well. And my name is Erin McNeil, and I am a professional learning specialist in literacy at Keep Indiana Learning. So today we are going to talk about phonics and the science of reading. And we'll talk about what the research says about phonics instruction, why that's important, what phonics instruction looks like, and also upper grades or upper level students and what we should be doing to teach them phonics. So in 2019, the National Reading Panel defined phonics as the knowledge that letters of the alphabet represent phonemes and that these sounds are blended together to form written words. So the phonemic awareness part of learning to read focuses on oral language, and phonics focuses on the written words, so finding those sounds in written words. The National Reading Panel also looked at several different types of phonics instruction, and they found that what works best is when phonics instruction is explicit, systematic, and sequential. The famous phonics reading study was done by Stanford, and Dr. Bruce McCandless was the lead researcher here. And the researchers studied whether words that were taught using a letter to sound instruction method, such as phonics, or whole word association method worked better. So what they did is they took 16 literate adults and taught them a made-up script of lines and curves. Some adults were taught to memorize whole word and some were taught to decode the script. After learning multiple words using both approaches, the newly learned words were presented in a reading test and they monitored their brain waves. So this test was 24 hours later, and they found that adults were more efficient at remembering how to decode words by sounding them out than remembering the whole words. They also saw that words learned through letter sound instruction or phonics instruction showed activity on the left side of the brain, which is the hemisphere that shows engagement, and it's a hallmark of skilled readers. And words that were learned via whole word association were not shown to light up the left side of the brain. They also learned that students taught using phonics showed decoding skills that allowed them to decode new words. So even if they hadn't been taught the word in the original study, they were able to learn them decoding the new words. So now that we understand why learning to read using phonics is important, let's think about how do we do that? How do we teach phonics? So we do that through strong research-informed scope and sequence and solid instructional routines. So let's watch this video of someone teaching phonics.
Okay, you go first, I spy. Okay. Apple. Very good, excellent. All right, my turn. Thank you. I spy with minus like something beginning with B. No. Very good. Well done. Well done. Phonics is simply teaching children the sounds of letters to develop their reading and then writing. We teach the sounds of the letters, for example, P, before we teach the name of the letter, P. The order that they are taught in class is based on how frequent they are used in English. So sounds such as P, O, and G are taught before X, and O. It's best to teach 3 sounds at a time, usually over a week, making sure they are quite different in sound and shape. So we don't teach D, B, and P together, as D and B look the same, while B and P sound similar. Because we learn our own languages by first hearing the sound and then saying them, we should use activities in class that mirror this. So it's a good idea to do a few recognition activities before we expect the children to produce or say them. Here are 2 recognition activities. Okay, you ready? So choose your 3 sounds to teach. Today I will teach P and G. Well done. First, show your children the letter card to present the sound. Say the sound to the children, but do not ask them to repeat it. Okay? So this is P. Okay? This is O. And this is G. This is G. Okay? Then place the flashcards around the room, or in this case, around the table. Say a sound and ask the children to walk to the card of the sound that you have said. Okay, you ready? All right, stand up. Okay, can you walk to the... Can you walk to the... Oh. Oh. Excellent. Okay. Well done. You could also do this by placing the sound cards on the floor and get the students to pick up the card after you say the sound. Okay? So, can you pick up the gift? Very good. You hold it that way. Excellent. Well done. Can you pick up the... Oh. Fantastic. Can you pick up the... Yeah. Very good. Well done. And the... Well done. Or, my favorite, you can smack the card after you say the sound. You ready? Oh. Get. Pe. Oh. Pe. Ah. Get. Get. Excellent. Well done. Once you are happy that they recognize the letter and its sound, do a few production activities. First, stand up with the class and mouth the sound silently. We will do it seated. The children watch and guess which sound you have mimed. They copy and say the sound. Okay, for example, we will do okay, Tom? I'm going to mouth the sound with no sound, and I want you to guess which one it is. Is that okay? You ready? Can you say it? Oh. Excellent, fantastic. Ready? Look at me. Say it. Oh. Teaching an action to accompany the sound also makes it memorable for the children. For example, puff of air as you on your finger. Should we do our puff sound? Let's go. Good. Got a puff of air on our finger with puff. And then off. Off. And do that off sound. Off. 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 Very good. Off. That's right. On off. Very good. And then get with our get action. Get. Very good. The children will enjoy the interaction that these activities provide, and their kinesthetic nature will enable the children to remember them in future lessons.
So although there are many programs available, Perkins and Yates break down the order of systematic phonics instruction. And they start by teaching that letters represent sounds, one-syllable CVC words, one-syllable words with consonant blends, and these are usually taught in kindergarten to first grade. In first grade, we continue this work to read and write digraphs and predictable patterns, like in single word syllables that end in E. And then at the end of first grade and into second, they recommend working on more predictable patterns, such as two vowels make a long vowel sound, two vowels forming a diphthong, R follows a vowel, and multi-syllable words. So just take a moment to read this slide. Most words in English follow a pattern or have an irregular spelling pattern. So in addition to phonics instruction, students should also read texts that contain the sounds they are learning. So here are some decodable text resources available, and you can click these when you download the slides, Literacy Learn, Reading Rockets, and the Reading League. On the website for 6th Shift, there are several downloadable ideas and resources for teachers. They are free. So this is one lesson framework that explains how to explicitly teach phonics and incorporate phonemic awareness as well as text into the lesson. But then we have to think about, what about phonics instruction after grade K2? We may still need to review the sounds and rules of multisyllable words as students encounter them or stumble over them. So there are several ways to do this. We can repeat the word and give it in a sentence, make a line for each spoken syllable, pronounce each syllable one by one. We can segment the sounds. Dictionary.com does a great job of this by segmenting and sounding them out for you. And then we can explain checks for sounds and rules. And we can also reread. So let's watch this example of how to teach multisyllabic words.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, and I approve this message.
We are being invaded.
Migrants causing chaos.
Biden's border crisis has.
Hi, my name is Tina. I'm an English teacher, and today I'll be sharing with you a few tips and tricks to identify multisyllabic words. First thing you want to do when you are identifying any kind of multi-syllables is to simply pronounce the word. Say it aloud. And if you're with children, a lot of times you can give them a mirror when they're pronouncing. Because when a child is identifying the word, a lot of times you see it visually. The mouth is opening. Multisyllabic. And they'll see it all the different times. And every time that mouth opens in one word, that counts as a multisyllabic word. Second one you can do is to give examples of multisyllabic words. You may want to start small, though. Something like reading. Ask them again to identify how many syllables, thinking about the mouth. Reading. They'll hear that it has a pause, and it sounds like there's two syllables. Reading. Finally, have them come up with some of their own. This will give them some practice with creating and being more interactive with multisyllables. And this is also a good way for them to remember in the long term. Yeah.
So it is important to remember that older students may still need practice sounding out phonics and figuring out what words mean, that it's a foundational skill that sometimes we continue to build. Again, dictionary.com is great for this, for sounding out the words and telling kids what each sound makes. So ask students to find words that follow a specific rule in their reading. You can give them 10 minutes to find all the words that end in pronounce words that they have found, and then talk about those meanings as well. If you are trying this in your classroom, we would love to see real life examples of you teaching phonics to use in for future sessions. So please contact us and please reach out if you have any other questions. And thank you for sharing your time with us. If you fill out this short survey, we would appreciate it. Thank you so much.